Hey YouTube! So this is going to be my why I chose to breastfeed video. Hold on. So I chose to breastfeed one, because I know that it is best for your baby. Two, it's free. It is free. Why would you spend thousands of dollars on formula when you have these things which were meant to feed your child, and it's free and it's better for your child? It says babies that are breastfed for the first 6 months, they're less prone to ear infections, which is awesome, because when babies get ear infections, it's horrible. They are so miserable. They cry and cry and cry, and I mean, I would want to cry if I had an ear infection. So I can't blame a baby for crying, and I wouldn't want him to get an ear infection whether it hurt or not. They're also less prone to respiratory illness and infections when they're breastfed for the first 6 months. They're also less likely to develop childhood obesity. Breastfeeding also delays the amount of time before you get your period back after you have the baby, which is awesome, because I still don't have my period and I'm loving it. Loving it. Who wants their period back? I don't think anyone does. It also lowers your chance of getting breast and ovarian cancers, which is awesome, because breast cancer I have had in my family, and thank God we've survived it, but it is in my family, so I'm really happy that breastfeeding can stop you from getting those. Breastfeeding is also just a really good bonding time between you and your child. For one, the child loves it. He loves breastfeeding. He loves boob. And they get really attached. They really bond with you really well. And I bond with him as well. And I love breastfeeding. It's awesome. Hold on. Breastfeeding, not necessarily in California and the United States, but in foreign countries and places where there's lots of diseases and starvation and all that, breastfeeding actually lowers babies and children's chances of dying, which is awesome. I mean, when something as simple as milk can stop a baby from dying, that is pretty amazing to me. What? He says, you're talking about milk and now I want some. So, I mean, there's a million more facts on why I chose breastfeeding, but those were just some of the major ones. Mainly, it's just so good for your baby. And why would you deprive your child of something that's so good for them, especially when it's free? I mean, formula is so expensive, and for some people they have the money to just get formula and it be like a penny out of their pocket, but other people don't, and that's why breastfeeding is awesome. What? So I chose breastfeeding, and I'm really glad that I did. It can be really frustrating sometimes when you have people offering to babysit so that you can go somewhere, and you have to pump and pump and pump and pump in order to go somewhere, instead of just being able to leave them with a case of formula, which I think would be so much easier. But I mean, breastfed babies hardly ever get sick. I was breastfed and I still hardly ever get sick. I get sick like once every few years, and when I do get sick, it's like a cold. So, and I'm a strong believer that the reason why I hardly ever get sick is because I was breastfed exclusively by my mom. So, I definitely think that is why I never get sick. And I will never formula feed a child unless I absolutely have to. I'm not putting down people who formula feed at all. For some people they have to, and for some people they just don't want to breastfeed, and that's fine. I'm not putting you down at all, but I love breastfeeding, and I will breastfeed all future children unless I absolutely can't. So that's why I chose breastfeeding. I'm gonna do a video about like the ups and downs of breastfeeding and what to expect in the beginning after this. But this is all for why I chose breastfeeding.